Alright, so MLW, what's this? I did a video on this about a month ago on MLB The Show 20 that completely flopped. However, today we are reviewing each team heading into the 2021 season. This is going to be a urinating tree style vid, so if you haven't seen his Haters Guide series, well, check that out real quick and come back here, or you can go ahead and just watch this vid. That's honestly up to you. We have 8 teams to review heading into the season. That starts sometime soon. I don't know when this is going to be uploaded, but definitely ahead of opening day, which right now is a week away. Alright, who do we got? Who are we starting with? Oh, God.
You got the poor man's snakes over here thinking they can play with the rich man's snakes.
Oh, sounds good. I'll be happy when the Gators win 0 games again this year.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Coastal Cobras. This team last year was the laughingstock of MLW. They will be the first ones up this year as they battle the World Series champs on opening day. After Drew Davis' team collapsed, they had to look at the team. Sean Flynn and Andy Durant are great in the field as well as strong contact and power hitters. Drew Davis is a great all-around player when his morale is up. However, if Drew is feeling like crap, this team cannot pitch at all. The savior, Brandon Baranowski. #1 overall pick, Baranowski will be taking the ace role immediately according to Drew Davis. The reason this team will go all the way? Gus. The team is now in Baranowski's hands. Drew has his trust in the rook. Drew, if this team of power hitters with a young stud ace on the mound choke again this year, it might really be time to pack it up. Or to call Dr. Michael Page.
In the center field!
The downtown Diamondbacks. Ah yes, the poor man's Snakes. Honestly, last year I thought this team would tank and continue to suck due to manager Gavin Nareski only playing himself, Mason Jewell, Mitchell Teal, and Jimmy Norp. I thought they'd be gone after last year. They might now be the team to fear in this league. Jimmy K had to go out and find a player to pitch for a series one day. Jonah Heath was the product. Ben Wilson, an undrafted player, also came into play. This core of Norp, Heath, and Wilson went on the best second half run MLW has ever seen. This team now has an identity with Norp leading the way. One injury or absence and this team could derail big time. Their backups are Gavin Nareski, average at best, and Michael Shema, brought in more for moral support and a reserve bat than to actually play. I don't know. This team better not face the Gators, otherwise they're about to get Jorge out of the playoffs. He struck out 17 of 18 batters he faced in that series. What the?
Daniel Schultz in the 4th.
Sweet drive! That one is gone! The Eagles win the NL! Unbelievable!
The Eastern Eagles could very well be called the Daniel Schultzes. Taking Dirty Dan away from this team is similar to taking gravy and cheese away from a poutine. I'm Canadian, if you have no idea what that is, just Google it, it's delicious. That leaves a poutine with just french fries. Nothing against french fries, but that makes the poutine bland and kind of mediocre. Without Dan, this team would be nothing, maybe bland and mediocre at best. Unless Clayton Price is fully healthy, Neil Smith is not an offensive liability when he's put in the lineup, Zach Whalen could become a consistent hitter and possibly hit more home runs, and Dallas Allen actually gets some reps in the lineup, the Eagles will either majestically earn the 1 seed once again riding Daniel Schultz's back, or they will fall off the steepest cliff in Michigan. That won't happen as long as Allen does get the at-bats at the plate that Neil should end up getting. Otherwise, well, you do have 4 straight NL division titles? Dan, you gotta get rid of that beard. Thank God you did. Never mind, Dan. Oh my goodness, you should have just kept the beard. What the hell is that?
Drew Davis, 11 to 0 win this season.
The Great Lakes Gators might look like easy championship contenders again, and they could possibly repeat again this year. Cheatham was an absolute beast to close out last year, and before Jorge's COVID scare, he was a dominant pitcher in the first half of 2020. However, there are plenty of issues with line within this team. Zerlag is a liability at the plate when he does make contact. It is solid and it goes over the fence. Depth is the biggest issue they got. The D-back series is a prime example where Bix Beaton, yes, the Bix Beaton, was forced to pitch after Cheatham couldn't pitch anymore, and Zerlag was pretty much hit and homered out of the game. If Jorgensen or Cheatham, hopefully not both, if any, can attend a series, there is most likely going to be a lopsided victory for whichever team they are facing. A bit of a lesser situation, but the Gators did not add a single piece this offseason, while every NL team added at least one. Again, depth could kill this team. Otherwise, again, World Series contenders. Only if they re-sign.
Legend says he's the Swamp Man.
What is that thing?
Blow out my face.
Coming out. Jason Chadwick at the plate. Agner with great speed.
Ah yes, the Metro Magic, my personal favorite. They have a very questionable season ahead, as Jason Chadwick and Liam Jackson are two phenomenal pieces who can do it all at the mound and at the plate. Those two are a great 1-2 punch on the mound. Behind them, Jack Agner Swagner is a potential liability at the plate, with 95%, not literally, of his at-bats being strikeouts. If he does make contact, he will hit a nuke. It's clear how much power that guy has. Things go downhill from there. This team did not have a pick in this year's draft. Why not? Because Joey Flynn. He's a great defensive player, but you gave up your pick for him. Jack, really? Cam Beaton been moved down to the reserve role as a new prospect. Jordan Curdy, the interview from the 2020 draft, has been added to this team's roster. In a stacked AL, they will either have a miraculous second half run as usual, or they will not make the playoffs. The ghost of bucket hat Kyle Hook looks on.
That's gonna be a homer. Grand slam for Noah Dabrico.
The Midwest Mallards are searching for a new identity as MLW legend Noah Dabrico retires and Steve McPeak moves to the other side of the duck pond. Austin Ford to the Wildcats, and this leaves Tommy Coughlin with barely a team even after missing the playoffs. Him and Trevor Bonham were initially going to be the 1-2 punch on the mound, and then the draft happened. They needed a power hitter to replace Noah Dabrico, who was pretty much invisible last year, and hit his only home runs off of Max Tamolka and Neil Smith. Johnny Bean might not be that guy. Dallas Allen was on the board. We'll pass. Cade Irwin, however, looked extremely promising. He's another young ace who played and hit off fast pitch whiffles. Hopefully that ain't Speedgate all over again. Brendan Davenport is another pitcher added to the team post-draft, and a few more reserves later, and this Mallard team is nothing like the team that won the 2017 World Series. Last year was a transition year from the Coughlin-Dabrico era to the Bonham-Irwin era. This year, with this depth, pitching, and experience, playoffs should be a guarantee. Otherwise, we're having smoked duck for dinner again.
And that is gone for Ryan Kratz. Line drive, home run, and that ties it back up at 1.
Let's go, Kratz!
That is clutch.
Let's go, baby! Let's go, son!
Okay, Wardo, we get it. Let's go. The Pacific Predators return this year with intentions to get back to the World Series. Okay, well, every single team does. However, these off-season acquisitions look like the worst out of all 8 teams. I'm sure Rudy Ramirez is a great baseball player, but this is a very high-risk pick at number 6. This will either end up like Mitch Marvin or Cam Ballou. Did Ballou even play baseball? Stephen McGlade apparently can pitch and might be the team's second pitcher, but if not, then behind Ryan Kratz, you got Alec Warda, who could be better than what he's shown, as well as James Swanson, who has potential. We aren't certain, but he's got potential to be a solid arm. Otherwise, a team of Ryan Kratz alongside a struggling Warda and Brendan Russell at the plate, and who knows what in Swanson, McGlade, and Ramirez, could put an end to a Preds dynasty and a stacked AL with more balanced teams. The 12-year-old fans will be jumping ship soon.
Swing and a miss! Kyle Schultz got the corner.
The Western Wildcats dynasty is never going to go away. We need to just accept this at this point. One bad year and bang, Nick Saylor joins Kyle Schultz and brings his team back to the World Series. However, they have somewhat slowed down, going only 1 for 5 in the last 5 seasons for championships. Apparently, Austin Ford is a solution to win the World Series. On one hand, he's another Ryan Kelly. On the other hand, Ford hits homers off of 2018 World Series. If you can't beat him, join him. That's got to be Kyle's mentality with that move. Otherwise, Kyle, what the hell was this acquisition for? The memes? You already got Ryan Kelly and Bicep, man. Jackson Pearson is looking like he'd be the second arm, and he'd fit the way Bonham did with the Mallards in 2020. But the full squad heading into this year, like the 2017 Mallards, the Wildcats team is changing. Instead of a one-man, it's now a two-man show. Saylor and Schultz should slug their way into the ALCS at the minimum. If they can't get it done soon, they might start spinning the wheel of mediocrity every year. Playoff caliber, but somehow not enough to be a championship caliber team. Realistically this season, although there are 8 teams out there who are going to put up strong fights, there will be 2 who will inevitably miss. Those 2 for me are the Eagles and the Magic. Wildcats and Gators are stacked and will make the playoffs again. Cobras and D-backs are too well-rounded in talent, and the Mallards and Preds have a better supporting cast and talent than the Eagles and Magic. I could see the Mallards and Preds being knocked out in the League Division Series, the Wildcats and Gators losing in the LCS, and a D-backs Cobras World Series. Poor versus rich. Winner gets the rights to the rich man snakes. Other will be stuck at the bottom of the snake pit and buried there until the next draft prospect can come and save them again, like Norm did for the D-backs, and Baranowski is about to do for the Cobras. We say it yearly. Time for the best year of MLW history. Also, Mark Schultz 2024.